Debt. It's a word that can send shivers down your spine, make your stomach drop, and keep you awake at night, right? But here's the deal. What if I told you that stressing about debt isn't the answer? No, seriously, you've been thinking about it all wrong. Debt is like that annoying mosquito that keeps buzzing around your head. It's irritating, sure, but constantly swatting at it won't fix the problem. The real solution? It's not about obsessing over debt at all. It's about focusing on something bigger, something more important, that will completely change how you look at your financial future. Want to know what that is? Stick around because we're about to flip the video on everything you've been told about debt. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's get started. Let's get real for a moment. Debt can be overwhelming, I get it. But the first thing we need to do is stop treating debt like it's this monster under your bed. It's not. Debt is a tool. Yes, a tool. And how you use that tool determines whether it works for you or against you. Instead of waking up in cold sweats over your debt, what if you started thinking about it as part of a broader financial strategy? It's time to shift your focus from worrying about the debt itself to understanding how you can manage and leverage it. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't walk in and think, man, I'll never be able to lift that weight. No, you focus on building strength, one step at a time. The same thing goes for debt. If you spend your days stressed about how much you owe, you're not spending enough time focusing on how to grow your income, build wealth, and improve your financial future. That's where your attention should be. So why do people freak out about debt? It's simple, it's because we're conditioned to believe that all debt is bad. You've probably heard that carrying debt means you're financially irresponsible. But hold up for a second. Let's break it down. There are two types of debt: good debt and bad debt. Yup, you heard me, there's such a thing as good debt. Bad debt, like credit card debt racked up from impulse buys, is something you want to avoid. But good debt, like a mortgage or a student loan that helps you get ahead in life, can actually build your financial future. Yet, most people focus on the wrong thing. They lump all debt together and worry about it like it's one giant financial monster. But here's the funny thing. It's like worrying about getting wrinkles while you're still in high school. Totally unnecessary and not helpful. Instead of letting debt paralyze you, it's time to refocus on what really matters: creating wealth and financial stability. Here's a hard truth. Worrying about debt isn't going to make it go away. You know what will? Increasing your income and adopting a growth mindset. Look, it's easy to get caught up in the numbers, how much you owe, how long it'll take to pay off, but the real solution to your debt problem isn't just cutting expenses. Sure, that's a part of it, but the bigger picture is growing your income. Whether it's through a side hustle, investing, or asking for a raise at your current job, the key is to increase your cash flow. Remember that tool analogy? Debt is just one tool. Income is another. If you spend all your time worrying about one tool, you'll never master the whole toolbox. So, what should you do? Focus on learning how to increase your income, invest wisely, and build financial assets that grow over time. That's the real game changer. In your financial narrative, debt is not the antagonist. Let's make that perfectly obvious. That is the case. There are far too many people who become paralyzed when they consider their financial obligations. In addition to not taking any action, they do not create any plans. All they do is worry. One further concept that is not only humorous but also accurate is that fretting about debt is comparable to sitting in a rocking rocker. It will provide you with something to do, but it will not get you anywhere. Do you know what even makes being in debt more difficult? You are not taking any action to escape it. When you remain stuck for a longer period of time, it gets more difficult to make progress. So, what are some things that you can do right now? Form a strategy. Moreover, this is not a strategy to worry about paying back every single penny by tomorrow. Rather, it is a genuine plan to strike a balance between paying off debt and increasing your wealth instead. The trouble is, concentrating entirely on debt is like concentrating on running out of gas without taking into account the entirety of the road that lies in front of you. You will be unable to take advantage of the opportunities to increase your wealth if you are solely focused on paying off obligations. What is most important is the accumulation of wealth. Give it some thought. How many times have you heard stories about people who were in a significant amount of debt, but then they were able to turn things around by establishing various opportunities for income? They did not stay up all night fretting about their debt. Rather, they discovered how to develop riches. This is the reason why they are so successful currently. Begin to think about the long term. Which investments are available to you right now? Is there a way to increase your wealth? Which actions may you take to ensure that you are financially independent? Alright, we've reached the most exciting section of the story. What steps can you take to genuinely break free from the cycle of debt? Putting every dime you have toward paying off your debt and hoping for the best is not the way to resolve it. On the contrary, it is about finding a middle ground. First and foremost, you must realize that you must live below your means. Yet, this does not imply that you should eliminate every source of happiness in your life. To get out of debt, you do not have to live like a monk in order to accomplish so. Creating a rational budget is what you need to do. You should make room for paying off debt, but you should also set aside money for investing, saving, and even having some fun once in a while. Indeed, it is possible to enjoy life while simultaneously reducing your debt. And while we're on the subject of having fun, I'll let you in on a little secret. You'll never feel ready to begin investing or becoming wealthy. Guess what, however? There is no need for you to wait. It will be to your advantage to get started as soon as possible. Alright, let's talk about the most important thing in the room, your mental health. It is possible that debt is a significant source of worry, but if you constantly think about it, you will become exhausted. It is the same as watching a scary movie over and over again, in the hope that it would become less terrifying, but it really won't. First and foremost, you need to assume command of the story's storyline. When you make the decision to view debt as a challenge rather than a danger, you will be in a far better mental state to cope with it. Pay attention to the things that you have the ability to influence, such as your spending patterns, your income, and your financial development. Believe me when I say that taking action is preferable to dithering and worrying. Aside from that, let's have a little bit of a joke about it. What you are doing, worrying about your debt, is comparable to a fish worrying about how wet the water is. The fact that it is always present does not mean that it must consume you. The fish you have to fry are much larger. So, what have we learned today? Debt is not the end of the world. It's not something you should spend your life stressing over. Instead, you should shift your focus to building wealth, increasing your income, and creating a strong financial foundation. Debt is just a tool, remember? And tools can either help you build or, if used wrong, break things down. But now that you know better, it's time to take control of your financial future and stop letting debt be the center of your life. If you got value from this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment below. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next on the channel. Let's build that financial freedom together.